Congressman Mike Quigley. He's a Democrat. He serves on the House Intelligence Committee. Congressman, thanks so much for joining us. More breaking news coming in. The chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, Jerry Nadler, just tweeted that Congress won't receive the report until 11 or 12 tomorrow afternoon. Let me read the tweet. He said, "I'm deeply troubled by reports that the White House is being briefed on the Mueller report ahead of its release. Now the Department of Justice is informing us that we will not receive the report until around 11 or 12 tomorrow afternoon, after, all in caps, after Barr's press conference. This is wrong." What's your reaction?
Well, I think the Attorney General is doing his job. Not the job as Attorney General, but the job as special counsel to the President, to protect the President politically, to protect the President legally, to be his press advisor, to shape the message. That's what he did with this 4-page memo. It's what he's doing tomorrow. I'm not a journalist, but I have a pretty good idea it's hard to ask the right questions when you haven't even seen the report. He
also tweeted, the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, Jerry Nadler, a man you know well, he also tweeted this: Attorney General Barr wrote to me on April 1st, quote, "I do not believe that would be in the public's interest for me to attempt to summarize the full report," close quote. Nadler says, "I agree, so why is the Attorney General holding a press conference tomorrow morning to go over the Mueller report?" I mean, it's pretty unusual, once again, to have a news conference on the Mueller report before the reporters in the room could have even read the Mueller report and know what to ask.
It's part of a pattern of behavior. The White House has been able to co-opt the Republicans on the Intel Committee to help hand in glove obstruct this investigation and finally tank it, and to not respond to the Russians attacking our democratic process, but to attack the Justice Department and the intelligence community. So it's a disturbing pattern, and what it leads to is something I've said before. In the final analysis, we can insulate ourselves from what the Russians did in the future, but it is quite possible that what the President's response to this investigation will have a far more lasting, damaging impact on the independence, the reputation, and the ability of the Justice Department and the intelligence community.
Have you been informed as a member of the Intelligence Committee when exactly you will be able to read the Mueller report?
Here's what we know so far. We're going to get the same report as everyone tomorrow, and eventually we'll get a less redacted report. And I don't know that that's actually official at this point, and we're not even sure who within Congress might get to see that. It is absolutely nonsense. The Intelligence Committee works on extraordinarily sensitive, classified information vital to our nation's security. Nothing in this report will come close to that. The only reason they would want to keep it from us is to keep it away from our understanding of the bigger picture and understanding that this began as a counterintelligence investigation. Was the President of the United States compromised? Was anyone around him compromised? Those investigations need to continue. That's why we need the full report and the underlying documentation that comes with it.
Are you surprised at how this is all unfolding right now?
No. If anyone is disappointed, they haven't watched what's taken place over the last 2 years. If anyone expects any sort of transparency from this White House, they were expecting Santa Claus to deliver it.
Do you believe that information should be made available to every member of Congress, the most sensitive information, or do you agree with the Justice Department that it should be restricted to only certain lawmakers?
I don't know what we're talking about here. If it's classified information, then certainly it should just go to the intelligence committees. So there's a broad spectrum, if you will, of information out there, and what should be available to each member of Congress will depend on what's out there. So we're just as in the dark as anyone else right now. But the fact of the matter is, certainly the Gang of Eight and the Intelligence Committee should get all this information. And almost certainly the Oversight Committees and the Judicial Committee should get the full report, because they can receive it in a classified form and a classified setting. So the only thing that's keeping this from happening is the fact that the White House is uncomfortable with it getting out to anyone else. Because, as we know all too well, this won't exonerate the President of the United States. They're obviously nervous about it.
We know that some staffers inside the White House, current and former, are now having deep regrets about having cooperated with the special counsel's investigation. Does that tell you anything about what might be revealed in the report tomorrow?
Well, I think that those who cooperate are probably going to see their fingerprints on this if they're not named directly. So obviously they're concerned. Let's just look at the public sourcing of the fact that the president, through tweets and what have you, intimidated witnesses, called people rats who cooperated on investigations. So it's clear that they're dealing with almost a mob-style mentality, the person that they work for.
Do you expect this report to give your committee, the Intelligence Committee, new leads to investigate?
I think if the full report gets to us, it certainly will, on a counterintelligence basis and on issues in dealing with obstruction. Or recognize our purpose was not the same as the special counsel. Our purpose was to find out exactly what took place and educate and inform the American public. Make sure this sort of thing didn't take place before. There is a public record of collusion and obstruction. It should be cold comfort to the American public that it wasn't in the special counsel's mind meeting a burden beyond a reasonable doubt on a criminal basis. And even that was left to Mr. Barr. And again, Mr. Barr had already written a report saying that it wasn't going to happen.
Congressman Quigley, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, let's dig deeper into all of this with our expert.